Hello and welcome to this edition of The Current Report, our weekly roundup of what's happening in the world of digital media. With the NFL season kicking off, the fall is officially here. The dominant sport in America is leading the charge in bringing its games to streaming. And with that, it's becoming easier to advertise on live sports. Just in the past 2 years, since Amazon inked a $13+ billion deal for the rights to stream Thursday Night Football, there's been big changes in the way advertisers can reach sports fans. To break this down further, we're talking to our reporter, Chris Brooklier, who wrote the story this week for The Current. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Damien. Good to join you.
So how does live sports streaming make it easier for advertisers to reach that audience?
Yeah, I think the obvious thing is more inventory, right? The more games that go to streaming, the more chance advertisers can get in. And we read a report that in the last 2 years, live sports streaming viewership has increased by 30%. And on top of that, by 2025, the majority of sports fans are expected to watch games through streaming, which is a big deal.
Yeah,
but
really.
The inventory really isn't the only deal here. So we're seeing, better ways to target and reach your audiences, right, through audience segmentation.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing new bidding models that aim to have your campaigns run a little bit more efficiently. And then I think the last big thing here is there's more innovative partnerships that are coming through things like retail media networks.
Yeah. I read about the NBC Universal locking in a retail media partnership with Walmart. Let's talk about that. That sounds intriguing. Both sides are calling it innovative, I understand.
Yeah. And I think it is innovative because we've seen retail media networks get so much bigger over the last couple of years. And this is sort of just the next step, right? Because you're connecting this premium data with premium inventory. And those are like peanut butter jelly.
Mm-hmm.
But the specifics of this is brands can now deliver targeted ads on Peacock using Walmart shopper data, then measure the results of those ads when it comes to in-store and online sales. And this really closes the measurement loop here, which can be difficult to do, right? And early results or early run from this partnership came from Dannon, the yogurt company, and they saw a 30% increase in new to brand buyers from a CTV campaign, right? So this could become a bigger way of doing things in the future.
That is interesting. Dannon, the yogurt maker, who knew that football fans like yogurt so much? But anyway, let's take a step back. Why is the unpredictability of live sports such a great fit for digital advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it is honestly a perfect fit. It fits like a glove because live sports, as you just said, is naturally unpredictable, right? You never know when a timeout is going to happen. You never know when a game's going to go long. You never know when a game's going to go into overtime. And if a game does go long, that opens up extra ad spots, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Very strategic. Yeah. I know you spoke to a few agencies for this piece when you were reporting it. And what are they thinking about live sports and what are their strategies?
They think it's a major tool in their tool chest, right? It's a big part of their playbook. And I think one of the big things that they mentioned is with the move to streaming, it sort of opens everything up so that you don't need as big of a budget to get into live sports, right? There's more availability that allows you to show your ads, right? One of the agencies that I spoke with, strategists, said that it democratizes things, right? Which is an interesting way to think about it. And then the last thing really is, I think the longer that the Hollywood strikes go on, the bigger live sports could be, right? Because it's clearly premium content in a time where premium content could be lacking with the lack of new shows.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If there's a shortage of scripted drama, we'll have the drama on the field next year. Anyway, thanks, Chris. I'm sure we'll keep talking about the future of live sports as we go on.
All right. Thank you.
And Netflix is reporting major success after cracking down on password sharing in what could be a coup for advertisers. The streaming giant added nearly 6 million subscribers in the second quarter. Now that advertisers can better account for who's actually watching, they can tailor messaging to the right audience and then retarget them. Plus, Netflix reportedly isn't the only one doing the cracking down. As Disney CEO Bob Iger recently said, the company is looking to do the same. To read his comments, check out the full story at thecurrent.com. Next, here's our weekly roundup of what's making news across the internet. Google's trial with the US Department of Justice has been officially underway for a few days, and the attorney representing the government has said that this case is, quote, about the future of the internet. At the core of the trial is the Department of Justice arguing that Google has abused its power as a monopoly to dominate the search engine business. This is the US's first major monopoly case to make it to trial since the government's case against Microsoft in the late 90s, and the first in the age of the modern internet. This isn't the only case the DOJ has with Google, though. Separate antitrust action is challenging its ad tech practices, and that case remains pending with a trial date yet to be set. And with fast channels racing onto the scene in the last few years, Nielsen is getting in. The company is offering a new program so content owners can distribute and monetize their work. Behind all of this is advanced data, which Nielsen says will prop up the placement of content so it's more easily discovered. And that's it for this edition of The Current Report. For a deeper dive on all these stories and more, check out thecurrent.com. We'll see you next week.